Namaste everyone. In today's video, we're going to focus on Muni Patanjali's Yoga Sutra 1.42. So in this Yoga Sutra, he now starts to define Savitarka Samapatti for us. And he tells us exactly what this process is all about. In the previous video, we understood that what exactly Samapatti is and how it comprises 4 different stages: Savitark, Nirvitark, Savichar, Nirvichar. So in this particular sutra, we're going to understand Savitarka Samapatti. Let's look at the sutra and start breaking it up word by word. The sutra itself goes, Tatra Shabdartha Jnana Vikalpayya Sankirna Savitarka Samapattihi. Alright, so now that we've heard the sutra, let's go step by step and start understanding each of the words. The first word here is Tatra, which is referring to that. And since sutras are basically a continuation, it's talking about the previous sutra where we understood the broad meaning of Samapatti. So Tatra here is referring to Samapatti. Then it starts defining the type of Samapatti. So it says Shabdartha Jnana, which is talking about 3 collective words: Shabda, which means word, Artha, which means meaning, and Dhyana or Jnana, which means knowledge or understanding. So all these 3 compound words, Shabda, Artha, Jnana, are referring to what happens when we experience Savitarka Samapatti. That we're understanding an object through its words, through its meanings, and also through our connotations of knowledge of that particular object. Then moving forward, we come to the word Vikalpaha. And this is a really important word. If you remember, we'd studied it in Yoga Sutra 1.9, and this word essentially refers to imagination or fanciful thinking. So it's being associated with this, the words and the qualities, and we're being told that these words, qualities, and the knowledge is very fanciful or imaginative because it's open to interpretation. So now going further, let's look at the next word. It's telling us Sankirna. Now Sankirna over here is referencing all of these 3 words that we understood previously, and it's telling us that these 3 together are sort of mixed, or there's a confusion that is created because of the presence of these 3 previous words. And then finally, of course, the last 2 words are Savitarka and Samapattihi. So it's telling us that the first few words lead up to form the definition of Savitarka Samapatti. So now let's look at the explanation and start understanding it a little bit better. Essentially what it's trying to tell us is a Savitarka Samapatti is the type of Samapatti wherein we have words, we have meanings, and we have our prior knowledge dominating our understanding of that particular object. So a lot of commentators have helped us to understand that even normal regular words that we use, like say for example this watch, a watch can have so many different meanings depending on the context in which we use the word. So a watch can mean a literal watch, it can mean to watch something, it can mean to watch over somebody. It can have a lot of different meanings and connotations, and because of that, the word in itself is open to interpretation or perception. And because of that, when I say the word watch versus when somebody else understands it, there might always be a gap in understanding. And this is not just with English words, but with any language, any words. It's always dependent on what the speaker is saying and what the hearer is understanding. So because of that, language has a very inherent sort of lack in that it's very open to interpretation. If we hadn't assigned the word watch to this object, it could be called anything, right? It could be given any other name, and then that would be associated with this object. So it's not the truth of this object. The truth of this object is not the word watch because it's subjective. It's something that comes from the English language. Even if we look at it in Hindi and say ghadi, that's also subjective. So what they're trying to say is that when we are meditating, whatever object we choose for meditation, the first thing that's going to happen is our mind is going to try to make sense of it. It's going to try to use words, it's going to try to use meanings, it's going to try to use whatever knowledge it has of that object and try to place that on the object. So this is very natural, right? Because our minds have so much information, we're obviously going to want to put it to use. But the whole point of Samapatti is to let that be, to let it be whatever knowledge we already have, and let new understandings or meanings come from the object itself. It's like this: if I'm sitting in deep meditation and I'm concentrating on an object, let's say for example on my watch, and I'm thinking about the watch, okay, it's from this brand, it has these features, I can gift it to someone else as well, etc. So I'm creating a whole narrative in my mind. But if I were to take a step back and then just say, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna let it be. I'm not gonna create any thought waves. I am just gonna concentrate on this watch and see what comes up. And that's when we start entering deeper stages of Samapatti. But until then, we're constantly tainting it with our understanding, with words, with meanings, with our knowledge of the subject. And that's why it's called Savitarka, because the Vitarkas are present, our own thought waves are kind of coloring our understanding of the object. And because of that, it's not a complete Samapatti as yet. So that's essentially how Muni Patanjali is defining this process of Savitarka Samapatti, where our words, thoughts all keep dominating even now. I would also like to say personally that this is the same as the process of One Sutra 1.17, where in any process of meditation, the first thing that happens is anything that's bottled up within you is going to come to the surface first. And then you might be able to move forward. But anything that's bottled up, that you've suppressed is going to rise up to the surface. And that's exactly what happens when you meditate on an object, be it outside you or inside you. Whatever information you have about that object is just gonna come rising to the surface, and you're gonna start dealing with that before you actually start dealing with other elements or subtle elements of that object. So yes, this is in conclusion what Savitarka Samapatti is. I hope you found this video helpful. If yes, please let us know in the comments below what you think and what your understanding of this sutra is. And also please do subscribe to our channel to stay tuned for more videos just like this, where we explain yoga philosophy. And also, if you found it useful, please share it with your friends and family. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video or in our next yoga philosophy class. Take care until then, and we're going to see you very soon. Namaste.